What social responsibility does a writer have? And this is something I've grappled with myself. So I'll give you a classic example. In 96, I wrote a piece saying When Plagues End. And it was a meditation on what happens psychologically and culturally when something that was killing everyone suddenly isn't killing everyone. And actually you see this massive shift. And I wrote it as it was happening. And I was told this was an unbelievably irresponsible, reckless, bad thing to do because
Oh,
some people might infer that the crisis was over, therefore there might not be sufficient funding, or that some people may act recklessly in response to this news and get HIV who might otherwise have done so. And my position was, this is happening. They
right.
may have those consequences. I would like to tell people, for example, lots of people who don't even fucking know that these drugs are curing you. I saw people die for lack of these drugs, and they were available. And also, it was an amazing moment after 15 years of facing something that killed everyone. You were suddenly entering a new world. That struck me as a fascinating and interesting moment. I didn't
Absolutely.
care. I didn't care. If people want to do what they want to do with that article, fine. But I didn't feel I had to be taken into account for it, especially when in the piece I specifically say, look, I'm not saying this is over. Did all the to be sure paragraphs.
Right.
But what do you think? I mean,
Oh, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what's more, I think, you know, there's been like a formal effort to change that attitude. There was a very influential piece in the New York Times in 2016 in the summer by a guy named Jim Rutenberg. It was called "Trump is Testing the Norms of Objectivity in Journalism." And basically the argument was that Trump was so bad that we had to throw out the way we do business as journalists and not just be true, but be true to, quote, history's judgment. So, like, I'm with you. Like, as a writer, you know, if it's true, it's good. Like, it's like being a comedian. If it makes somebody laugh, it's a good joke. You know what I mean? Like, art doesn't lie, comedy doesn't lie, good journalism doesn't lie. Like, if it's true, it's true, right? And the whole theory of, I think, how a free press works is that when people are given the truth and given good information, they will make more responsible decisions. Like, you have to have trust in your audience that they're not babies. They don't need to be led by the hand to make political decisions, that they're able to grapple with difficult things. And my experience has always been that audiences are much more sophisticated than editors give them credit for. They're much smarter. They pick up on subtleties much more than people think. I mean, you must have heard during the 90s, right? During the era of Maxim and all those sort of magazines that came up, that, oh, we can't do stories longer than 400 words anymore because, you know, cable and people don't have attention spans, so, you know, you can't write like that. But that turned out to be the opposite of the truth. Like, magazines ended up doing much better, and blogs ended up doing much better because they went into more depth, right? I mean, I don't know. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts
that
on
was,
this.
yeah, no, that's my feeling too. That I think maybe it's because I haven't internalized a sense of myself as some kind of important figure in the consciousness. I mean, I'm just a fucking writer, and take it or leave it, and like it or hate it. And that's my responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
But my responsibility is not to make America some gleaming paradise. There are limits to what a writer is supposed to do. And now I'm different than you because I'm an editorial writer. I'm a legit, like, separate opinion writer. I just write my opinion. So it's a little different there. But even there, I always felt like, for example, with gay marriage, I'm going to make my best case, but people may not buy this, in which case, bummer, but maybe eventually it'll work out. But I didn't have the sense that I was on the quote unquote right side of history.